Good morning. It is Monday, November the 2nd, 2020, 9 o'clock in the morning, and Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. We'll remind everybody to turn your telephones to silent or vibrate. First part of the agenda today is public input. Is there anyone who would like to address the court about something that is not on the agenda? Very well. Then we'll go straight to...
caller.
Everybody hear somebody talking.
It's his phone.
I was expecting Heather was going to call in,
Oh, okay.
but that was
Okay, so let's go to Commissioners' comments. Precinct 1.
There's no signs at the Ag Barn today.
hello.
That's a good thing.
Nobody's voting today.
Nobody fussing and fighting and acting like children. So,
All good.
all good for today. Don't forget to vote tomorrow.
Sorry to hear about Jody and her family.
Well,
Talk about
whoop,
that.
whoop,
Oops.
yeah.
Well,
Oops.
because,
Or any other employee.
okay, let's see. Well, let me say it differently then. I understand that the courthouse was sprayed over the weekend. I can talk about that, okay?
Yes.
And
Deep clean.
Deep clean. Question being, it used to be that at one time CDC said Corona-19 virus only lived on surfaces for like a couple of hours.
3 hours is what.
3 hours, something like that. So why do we if nobody's here, why do we spend the money to do a deep cleaning if it only live on surfaces for a couple of hours? Question. And I don't need an answer for that, but I raised the question. Maybe CDC has changed, I don't know, okay? They've been known to change on a few things, but it's probably an expensive thing. And if it's not doing any good, why do we do it? And that's my only precinct 2 comment.
Precinct 3.
Hard act to follow.
Maybe I choose my word very carefully. I have no comments.
4.
Well, if I was wise, I probably wouldn't make a comment either, but
But
we had a lot of trick-or-treaters out Saturday evening. It was fun seeing the kids out and about and having a good time and enjoying themselves. And so we had a beautiful weekend for that. I don't know how many more we'll have, but it was nice over the weekend. That's all I got to say.
Good. Very well. And let's move on to our consideration agenda. Item 1.1. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the court to rescind court orders numbers 38314, receiving bids for Phase 2 and 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point Wastewater Project, and court order number 38353, awarding construction contract for Phase 2 of the East Kerr County Center Point Wastewater Project, and court order number 38354, awarding construction contract for Phase 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point Wastewater Project, and declaring all bids open and read on September 3, 2020 for Phases 2 and 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point Wastewater Project as null and void. Charlie Hastings.
Thank you, Judge. The East Kerr County Center Point Wastewater Project was advertised for bid in the local newspaper on July 30th, 2020 and August 26th, 2020. The bids were then opened and read on September 3rd, 2020 and subsequently received by the court on September 14th. That was court order number 38314. And contracts were awarded for both Phases 2 and 3 on September 28th. Court orders number 38353 and 38354. Per state law, competitive bidding notice is as follows. Local Government Code Section 262.025, competitive bidding notice. A notice of a proposed purchase must be published at least once a week for 2 consecutive weeks in a newspaper of general circulation in the county, with the first day of the publication occurring at least 14 days before the date of the bid opening. Because the advertisement was not published for 2 consecutive weeks, the bids received and contracts awarded are null and void. The following corrective action has been taken. New bid advertisements have been published on October the 28th, that was last Wednesday, 2020, and again, November 4th, this week, Wednesday, November the 4th, 2020. They will be published again a second time. The bid opening will be on November the 24th, 2020. The court will receive the bids on November the 30th, 2020, and the bid award is scheduled for December 7th, 2020. County engineer requests that the court rescind court order numbers 38314, that was for receiving bids for phases 2 and 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point wastewater project. 38353, awarding construction contract for phase 2 of the East Kerr County Center Point wastewater project. And 38354, awarding construction contract for phase 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point wastewater project. And declare all bids opened and read on September 3rd, 2020 for phases 2 and 3 of the East Kerr County Center Point project as null and void.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Letts to rescind these court orders and contracts. Discussion.
Just a comment to the county clerk on this, because of this, the nature of this, if you would please put that entire exact wording motion on the minutes so that it's clear that, don't just say amending those 3 court orders, have the entire paragraph listed as listed on the agenda.
Good point. Another comment. So, we made a mistake, okay, you have to rebid. So the question is, learn from mistakes. So what can we as a court or county do to make sure we don't make that mistake again? Is there anything that the county clerk could say, could run a flag or something? I don't know what the answer is, but we ought to not let this happen again.
Charlie, what was the exact technicality that we did not?
The bids were not run 2 weeks consecutive.
Okay,
So
Locally.
one of the solutions that we have for that is in my agenda bills, I'll be very clear about the dates that I want them run. And then secondly, we'll make sure and get copies of the newspaper clippings and be looking for them. And if they don't show up, we'll raise the flag and say, something's wrong here, we've got to have this
But
correct.
that's engineering. I'm looking across the county.
Yes, sir.
I
Okay.
have a comment.
Okay.
If I may say, there was a letter from Tetra Tech that had some dates in there. It was addressed to the Commissioner's Court, and they left out the clerk. I think if the clerk was addressed in that letter, it would have been more clear to me.
Okay.
Right away.
Who puts the bids, who puts the notices in the paper?
I do.
Well, okay. So if you know that you're gonna put a notice in,
I need to know the dates.
and you notice that it has to be done 2 weeks consecutive, that ought to be sufficient.
If I'm told the dates, yes.
Well, but if you know it, you could question if it's not 2 consecutive weeks about
There was a
why.
lot of chatter about the dates to be published, and it did not come up.
Okay, I'm not looking to point blame, I'm just saying, what can we do to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Address the
6
letter
years
to
from
the
now.
clerk.
Huh?
Address the letter to the clerk and the
Well-
Commissioner's Court. That was my suggestion.
I think that the way it should be done probably is not agreeing with the county clerk saying, but our orders, when we're doing any kind of competitive bidding, we need to have sure as a court that the dates are specified in our court
Okay,
order.
and that would do it, okay? That would do it too. Perfect.
If I may interject, I think along with that, Commissioner, a lot of different departments do competitive bidding, come budget time where we do things. And I think if there was a general checklist printed out by the county that each
There
department
you go.
or elected official got, that if you're going to do competitive bidding, you have to go by this checklist, which specifies 2 weeks consecutive, things like that, so
Good.
that every department in the county has the same checklist.
Good
as
point.
how we do it.
Good point, good point. I like that, that's good.
I would be surprised
that
if
would help.
TAC doesn't have something like that
They probably do.
as resource.
But that's something you can read it in the code, and it tells you.
Right.
That's just as Charlie read, you read it, but if you just had bullet,
Right, checkpoint, yeah, good, yeah, that's a good point. One other question, I think I know the answer to this. On opening bids, is it required that we, I think I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway, that we identify what the bid amounts are? Because this way, we're gonna rebid it and every contractor knows what the low bidder was. So is it required that when we open bids that we identify what the bid amounts are?
I think that
Yes.
it's,
I think it is, yeah.
I don't know that we have to read it, but it's all open record.
Yeah, they've already, it's out
They have
there.
to do their
Yeah,
own.
okay, okay,
On some of them, it's very difficult for us to read it here, so we just accept them.
right.
Because like when we bid products.
We
for-
accept opening.
And we try to read all of it as
Right.
best we can.
Right.
But on some of them, it's real
Okay.
difficult, but I think that it's all open to the public.
Okay, that was the only comments I had.
Well, anything that would make the process more competitive is
Right.
good.
Sure.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ready to vote?
Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. 5-0 unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a $25 donation from a citizen for the Sheriff's Equipment Fund.
This is just one of those that we get. I think there's a lot of people, thank goodness, that like to donate to the local agency instead of some national or statewide organization. We truly appreciate it. So I try and keep them anonymous, but we try to make sure that that money goes into the equipment fund to support our sheriff's office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Harris, seconded by Commissioner Blue to approve a $25 donation from a private citizen to the Sheriff's Equipment Fund. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, 5-0. 1.3, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to make line item budget adjustments for the volunteer fire departments. Commissioner Harris.
Yeah, in our last workshop with the volunteer fire departments, you know, if you look at the last 7 minutes or so, we were trying to bring everything, land the plane, as you say, and we ended up with a number, $135,000, and you know, it wasn't broken down like we'd done in years past. So this does it, and it got this handout in front of you. You can see the adjustments that were made. Basically, it drops from the year, the previous year.
You say one handout. I don't have a handout.
Budget amendment.
Budget
Oh,
amendment.
the budget amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah.
You can see it drops it 24.4 for the Divide, Mountain Home, Comfort, Centerpoint, and Turtle Creek, and then the others were adjusted. Castle Hills was adjusted as well. So to fit our $135,000 budget, we broke it down in line item, and so I move for approval.
Now, Hunt and Turtle Creek and a few others.
That's right.
Weren't gonna get anything for this year.
It was Hunt, Ingram, and you notice they're not on there. Hunt, Ingram, and
Turtle
then
Creek
Elm
was on.
Pass. Turtle Creek was. They said in the meeting, he said he may not use it if he didn't have to, but
Right.
he wanted to be included. Okay, and then Elm Pass, if you remember, was dissolved into Centerpoint. So that took away 3 of them right there. So that's what we come up with.
Which, in practical purposes, lowered.
Who's got the
Centerpoint.
second here? I haven't heard a second yet. Okay. So motion was made by Commissioner Harris,
Yeah.
seconded by Commissioner Letts. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, in practical terms, that lowered Centerpoint's,
Yes.
yeah, because you had 2 of them that merged. All right.
Sort of like Hunt has substations as well.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. 4, I abstain. I thought we were going to do this on the basis of need.
It can still be by need.
Yeah.
I don't think it changes the contract, just as the money kind of allocated
Right.
out
Right,
by department.
Right.
precisely.
That was the decision.
Yeah, it was gonna be on need, right. They were gonna come forward with
Right.
the categories that we identified. Right.
And there's
Well, should we amend the thing to say not to exceed this amount?
No, I think we
That's
just do it
just
like,
Because we're gonna have a cap on it,
It's just a mark.
regardless of who needs what.
this kind of puts the cap on.
That's what I'm saying. So should the motion be amended to say not to exceed this amount? Is that a moot point?
We don't do
I
that
think
on
it's a
any
mute point,
budget.
because I think it's just that's the number, and if somebody wanted to come over, we could
Do a budget.
do the budget amendment
Right.
and see where we are later in the
Right.
year.
Yeah.
We've done that on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but
Say
it's
not to
usually, it's
exceed
usually
this.
for grants or contracts or something like that, as opposed to budget, because we can have budget amendments, so. I don't think we say, here's the budget and it shall not exceed. That's the intent.
Okay. I don't want to, I mean, there has to be a cap on it. I don't want to limit it if somebody really needs something.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
just want to make sure.
Well, they still have to come forward with requests.
This, without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Okay, we've already had the vote. Anything else? Okay, then let's move on to the approval agenda. 2.1, pay the bills.
Invoices for today's consideration include for the fiscal year of 1920, $10,702.49 for Kerr County, $775.29 for the airport, $135 for the DA forfeiture fund. For the current fiscal year for Kerr County, $662,354.09. The airport, $29,007.86. Adult probation, $2,491.99. The county clerk fees, $193, 98 cents. And the 198 DA forfeiture, $299.45.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Moser, seconded by Commissioner Blue to pay the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. 5-0.
Tanya, question. When do we get the final number of last year, how we went out of the year?
We are working on having the books closed by December the 31st. That's our goal.
Okay. All right, thanks.
And the audit has already been set for, I think it's the week of the January the 17th.
Okay.
It's the third weekend, third week, I believe,
Yeah.
of January.
Very good.
So next item on the agenda is 2.2, budget amendments.
There are not any additional budget amendments.
Okay. 2.3, late bills.
There are not any.
And 2.4, auditor reports.
There are not any.
Thank you. 2.5, accept monthly reports.
None?
2.6, court orders.
Yes, we have the court orders from our October 26th meetings, numbers 38403 through 38417. They all look to be in order. I move for approval.
Second.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Letts, seconded by Commissioner Harris to approve the reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. 5-0. Very well. Information agenda, 3.1, status reports from department heads. There being none, let's go to 3.2, status reports from elected officials.
It's the last day to vote tomorrow. Please go vote.
Excuse me?
It's the last day to vote tomorrow. Please go vote.
Election day.
Okay. Then item 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners.
I have one, just a real quick one. I just really want to note really good work by Commissioner Ford Friday, trying to organize a lot of things. We'll go into the details, and also to HR department for the same thing on Friday.
Good. Any other liaison commissioner reports? Okay, there being nothing in executive session, in record time, court is adjourned.